taking my makeup off right now, but I just need to go on a rant really quick because I just watched Catfish. I hadn't watched it. I don't know if it was the one from I think it was the one from maybe last week or something. I'm not sure. So I think there's another one tomorrow, but I am horrified right now. Horrified by this show. It should be called Cheaters, honestly, because they just get people, like literally the lowest of low people. That's who they cast on the show. This girl that they cast, I don't even remember her name, doesn't even matter, was actively cheating on her fiance. So, how do I know she's actively cheating on her fiance? She met this guy, the Catfish, on Facebook while she was still engaged to another guy. This guy, I guess, like messaged her on Facebook, the guy that she was talking to, Ibrahim or something. She goes, yeah, we were talking a little bit, like we would talk here and there for a couple months. It was nothing, it was just nothing serious, blah, blah. Where's my clip? Oh, let me use my new clip. It was nothing serious though, like we would just like chat, and I ended up, you know, confiding in him about my relationship and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, okay, never should you be confiding in a guy that you don't know about your relationship. What are you doing? And talking to a guy. And then he was like, well, what was like the first thing that he said? How did you guys start talking? And she was like, well, he said I was really beautiful. But, oh, but it wasn't, you weren't flirty at first, she says. Okay. So the lies just keep coming. I mean, so disturbing. The whole time she's like, oh my god, he's so tall, dark, and handsome. Like, listen to his voice, Cammy. Like, you don't understand. Like, please listen to his voice. And honestly, like, I'm getting kind of sick of it because what the show has started to do, besides just casting a bunch of cheaters that shouldn't even be on the show in the first place, like, oh, I'm supposed to root for this girl, finding out that she had some crossover in her relationship, which Neve acknowledged. He goes, yeah, it seems like there was a little bit of crossover, but we're not going to talk about that. Just no sense of morality at all. It seems like the new trend for the show, they just fly everybody out to LA. They just literally, they're like, yep, we'll fly you out, we'll put you in a nice Airbnb. And they put them basically like in the same Airbnb every single time, and they just keep flying people out. Like, they fly the Catfish out, they just fly the hopefuls out. They don't travel anymore, apparently. I hate that, and I don't. Like, that's the whole part of Catfish, is like, you go to them, is seeing people in rural Kansas. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what it's about. So anyway, she's like, yeah, Cammy, he's so hot, like, I just love him. And like, she didn't even know that much about him. So when they went to go do the investigation, they couldn't even find anything because they just literally didn't have anything to go off of. She didn't even have his last name because she hadn't even asked. Like, she was not asking him questions about himself, and like, so she knew nothing. All she knew was like, he maybe worked in a restaurant. I'm sorry, how are you in love with someone and you don't even know basic information about them? Like, where they work, what their name is. You don't know his name, but you're in love somehow. Okay, got it. So, and you broke up your relationship with your fiance, who, by the way, she was still living with at the time. That's why she had to get flown out to LA, is because she was still living with him and it was a toxic situation. How about maybe move out before you contact Catfish? Maybe figure that out before. Like, I think she's just looking for another guy that she can move in with because she probably has nowhere to stay. So once again, it's like, why are we casting these people? I get that it's rough out there and we're trying to find people, but like, yikes. So I'm obviously very annoyed by this. They can't find him, so they're just like, all right, you're just gonna have to call him. Well, they call him and he goes, you know, I really do want to meet, but you're gonna have to give me a couple months. Like, I'm just not ready right now, and I'm going through something. My life's not where I want it to be, and you're just gonna have to give me a couple months and I'll definitely meet up. And he goes, I have like the perfect picture of how we were gonna first meet, and this is not it. So they basically force this guy into meeting. Okay, they're like, okay, well, we'll fly you out, like, whatever it is, we'll fly you out. And she's like, come on, I don't care whatever it is, I'll you know, fly out here, blah, blah. He flies out, right? The day of, he's texting, he's like, I just don't think I can do this, like, this is just not what I pictured, like, I envisioned, I just don't think it's gonna go the way that I want it to, and I'm really nervous. And they all are like, nope, you better be here, you already flew out all the way out here, you might as well meet up. This would mean a lot to her. Well, I don't even know how long they were talking. It probably was like a month or something. they meet up at a park, okay? And the whole time Neve is like, yeah, just be prepared for anything but. And she's like, oh, yeah. So he gets out of the car, and it's him. And she's giddy at first. She's like she's like, oh my God, it's him, blah, blah. And he comes over, and he, like, doesn't have a lot of his teeth. They're, like, gone in the front. Like, a lot of his teeth are gone. And he kind of is talking a little bit odd because of it. And he says it's because he recently, in the summertime, got into a fight. And so he lost his front teeth. Which maybe I could see, maybe I couldn't. It was what it was. But he didn't lie about a single thing. So he didn't want to meet because he wanted to get his teeth fixed. He was saying that, you know, it could take 2 months to get your teeth fixed. Like, it cost a lot. He's trying to get his enough money to pay for it. And it takes a long time to, like, get your teeth fixed because they have to, like, make, you know, molds and things. And so that's why he was asking for the 2 months. He didn't envision this. He was saying, I didn't envision this because I wanted to have my teeth to beat you. This girl that's like, I'm clearly image obsessed. But I haven't lied about anything. I do work at a restaurant. Okay, but here's the worst part about this. Okay? Well, actually, no. There's many worse parts. This guy got her name tattooed on his neck as a sign. And I wouldn't be surprised, by the way. She said, well, I didn't tell you to get a tattoo. I wouldn't be surprised if she, like, nudged him towards it, because he obviously did it for some reason. So he got her name tattooed, okay? But here's the worst part. It wasn't even her name. Because she was still in a relationship, she had given him a fake name. Because she's a cheater. So she gave him a fake name and said, because she said, well, what does the T stand for in your name? Because she calls herself T. And she says, oh, it stands for Tara with an H. And he got Tara with an H tattooed onto his neck. And she didn't want to tell him. So Neve was like, well, you need to tell him the truth. And he's like, well, I love you anyway, you know, it's okay. And Neve is like, well, just have a kid and name it Tara. I'm like, okay, kind of weird comment, but whatever. She's like, I'm really sorry, but I just, you know, I after everything I've been through, you know what I've been through in my relationship, I think it's just better off if we're just friends. You know, hopefully you're okay with just being friends. So she drops a bomb on him after all of that, forcing this man to come and meet her, you know, before he's ready. Okay, which completely understandable why he would not want to meet at that moment. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I don't even think they were talking that long. Forces him to come all the way out to LA, okay? Forces him to come out and meet her before he's ready to, when his teeth are all, like, messed up. Lies to him and has him get a tattoo, and lies to him about her name, okay? Never asked him a single question about himself, doesn't care about him whatsoever. Nicest guy ever, by the way. Like, it's pained me to even watch this scene. So then, she drops the bomb, and Cammy's like, wait, what? So they go and talk in the car, and she's like, wait, why are you, like, I thought you wanted to be together. And she's like, yeah, I'm just like, honestly, I just can't get past the teeth. Like, I can't, like, I'm not feeling it. Like, maybe once he got his teeth fixed. And Cammy's like, well, don't come running back to him when when he's got his teeth fixed finally and say, oh, now I'm ready for you. Like, and that's what this girl's gonna do, by the way. I mean, I'm horrified listening to this. Like, she's like, I just can't, like, it doesn't match what I have in my head. Like, I just can't get past the teeth thing. Like, it's just not right. No. Okay. So, meanwhile, this guy's saying to Neve, like, oh, I love her, you know, I really do love her, blah. So anyway, they have her talk to him, and she basically, like, the two of them just talk, privately, and she says, look, I want to be friends, like, I understand why you didn't want to meet, because of your teeth and everything. Anyway, this guy is sobbing on a park bench on national television, and I'm having to watch it. A grown man who's so nice, innocent person, crying his eyes out because of the demon witch who's sitting across from him. I'm sorry, this show is going downhill. This show is going downhill. If they continue to cast people like this, they will not have a show. Okay, I'm sorry. I might have to switch over to Catfish UK. This bow's looking stupid, but I'm sorry. I'm horrified. I'm not rooting for somebody, and they've done this, by the way, if you're like an avid catfish watcher, they've done this multiple times, okay? Multiple times they have done this, where they have had somebody who had crossover with the relationships, was cheating on somebody else, and they don't do anything to condemn them. They're just like, oh yeah, seems like You know, there's some crossover there. And they call it crossover. No, call it what it is, okay? Call it what it is. You're cheating. You cheated on this person, you cheated on him. And in her email, her initial email said, I found out my fiance wasn't who I thought he was. No, you are using an excuse to get out, okay? Make yourself look good. So anyway, oh God, I'm so disgusted. So disgusted, and I'm so annoyed because I was just on TikTok also for like 3 hours. No, it wasn't. It was like an hour and a half. Watching what I thought was a live police car chase. And I'm telling Jarvis, I'm like, you're not gonna believe this. This guy literally stole 3 different cars, hotwired 2 of them, got evaded police for an hour and a half. And I'm telling Jarvis all about it. And he's like, wait a minute, I've heard about this before. This happened like a year ago. And I look it up and it happened a year ago. And I'm watching this as if it's happening live. I'm so annoyed. I'm gonna continue to take my makeup off. Just had to do a little rant before I go to bed.